let's understand what are the types of hackers. So, what are the types of hackers? Hacker is a technically skilled person who is very adept with computers. They have good programming skills, they understand how operating system works, they understand how networks work, they understand how to identify flaws and vulnerabilities within all of these aspects, and then they understand and know how to misuse these flaws to get a outcome which would be detrimental to the health of the organization. So there are 6 types of hackers that have been identified: black hat hackers, white hat hackers, grey hat, script kiddies, nation sponsored hackers, and hacktivists. So black hat hackers are basically the malicious hackers who have malicious intent and have criminalistic tendencies. They want to harm the organization by hacking into their infrastructure, by destroying their infrastructure, by destroying their data, so that they can gain from it from a monetary perspective. These guys are also known as crackers. The main aspect of these people are that they have malicious intent, they try to do unauthorized activities, and they try it for personal gain. Another important aspect to remember is that a black hat hacker will always try to hide their identity. They will spoof their online digital identity by masking it, by spoofing their IP addresses, MAC addresses, and try to remain anonymous on the network. A white hat hacker, on the other hand, is also an ethical hacker or a security analyst who's an individual who will do exactly the same thing that a black hat hacker would do, minus the malicious intent, plus the intent of helping the organization identifying the flaws and remedying them so that nobody else can misuse those vulnerabilities. So they are authorized to act on the company's behalf. They are authorized to do that activity which would help the company identify those flaws and thus help the company mitigate those flaws, improving on their security posture. So these kind of security experts or ethical hackers would help organizations defend themselves against unauthorized attacks. Grey hat hackers is a blend of both white hat and black hat hackers. So here they can work defensively and offensively both. They can accept contracts from organizations to increase their security posture. At the same time, they can also get themselves involved in malicious activities towards other organizations to personally gain or benefit from them by doing unauthorized activity. Script kiddies are people who are technically not much aware about what hacking is. They rely on existing tools that have been created by other hackers. They have no technical knowledge of what they're doing. It's just a hit or miss for them. So they just get their hands on a tool. They try to execute those tools. If the hack works, it works. Otherwise, it doesn't. So these people are basically who are noobs or newbies who are trying to learn hacking, or just people who with malicious intent who just want to have some fun or trying to impress people around. Then we have the nation or the state-sponsored hackers. As the name suggests, these hackers are sponsored by their government. Now, this may not be a legitimate job, but most of the governments do have hackers enrolled in their pay on their organizations to spy on their enemies, to spy on various countries and try to figure out the aspirations of those countries. So this is basically a spying activity where you're technically trying to get access to other countries' resources and then try to spy on them to figure out what their activities have been or what their future plans have been. And then we have the hacktivists, who is an individual who has a political agenda to promote, and they promote it by doing hacking. So these guys, what is the difference between a black hat hacker and a hacktivist? The black hat hacker may try to hide their identity. A hacktivist will claim responsibility of what they have done. So for them, it's a political agenda, a political cause, and they will try to hack various organizations to promote their cause. They would probably do this by defacing the website and posting the messages that they want to promote on these websites. So what exactly is ethical hacking then? We have discussed the types of hackers. We have identified a malicious hacker as a black hat hacker with the intent of doing harm to an organization's network for personal gain. We have discussed what the ethical hacker is. So an ethical hacker would be doing the same activity but in an authorized manner. So they would have legal contracts that they would be signing with the organization, which would give them a definite scope of what they're allowed to do and what they are not allowed to do. And the ethical hackers would function within those scopes, would try to execute those test scenarios where they would be able to identify those flaws or those system vulnerabilities, and then they would be submitting a report to the management of what they have found. They would also help the management to mitigate or to resolve those weaknesses so that nobody else can misuse them later on. They might use the same techniques and the same tools that black hat hackers do. However, the main difference here is that these guys are authorized to do that particular activity. They're doing it in a controlled manner with the intent of helping the organization and not with the intent of personal gains.